guys, it's Applemint. Welcome back again to my channel. I've got a new microphone, can you tell? Hopefully it sounds a little bit clearer than my last one. But anyway, for today's video, I'm doing something a little bit different, as you might have been able to tell from the title. Lately, I've been watching a lot of drama channels and a lot of channels that just talk about different topics and different things that are going on in different communities. And I have been hearing a ton about NFTs, and I really want to talk about it a bit because it's really taking the art community by storm. And so I'd like to make this a new series where I kind of just talk about different topics, different dramas, anything having to do with the art community. And I'll do this every once in a while on my channel whenever I've got something I want to talk about. So I'd like to call this series Applemint Tea. Get it? Get what I did there? So what is an NFT? NFT stands for non-fungible token. And the first time I heard the word fungible, I thought of fungus, mushroom. I know, I'm a child. But anyway, what fungibility is the ability for an asset or an item to be exchanged or substituted with similar items or assets of the same value. And a good example that I heard when I was doing some research was, say you have 5 $1 bills. You can take those 5 $1 bills and you can exchange them for one $5 bill. They're both different, but they equal the same thing. They're both worth the same thing. However, with an NFT, it's something that does not have anything that it can be equally exchanged for. There's nothing like it. It's completely unique. You might be saying, how does this concept, what does an NFT have to do with artwork? Or why are you talking about this on your channel? An NFT is basically like a certificate of authenticity to say you own something. So it's been being used a lot recently for selling digital art. So I'm going to use the example of, say there's an art auction and they're selling off an original Picasso painting, right? That original Picasso painting with his original brushstrokes is being sold, and it's the only one of its kind. You can have prints of it, you can make copies of that painting and you can sell them, but those copies will never be the original. What is the equivalent to that in the digital art world? Up till now, there was none, because if you have a digital piece of artwork and you put it on the internet, now it's already a copy. Once you put something out there, anybody can take that and they can copy and paste that exact same image, and there's nothing to tell people that that's the original or not the original, because it's just a file out on the internet. So basically, NFTs are being used right now a lot by artists or musicians or just random people that want to sell a screenshot of a tweet, for example. I'll get more into that later. To basically sell original versions of digital assets, which I think, personally, if you ask me, is really dumb. Because once I heard about this and I heard that people were paying so much money to own the rights to a digital file, I was like, I don't understand the point of that, because you could just copy and paste that and just kind of keep that for yourself. For example, you like a drawing online, you like a picture you see, anything. You can save that to your phone. Now you have a picture of it. But it seems to me, the way I'm understanding this, is that NFTs are a way for people to say, okay, everybody else can have a copy of this image, but I own the original image. And it's really just a clout thing, honestly. And it doesn't really have much of a purpose. In my original art example, when I talked about the Picasso painting, at least in that, you're getting the physical painting and you can hang that in your house and you can show that off. And ultimately, that's also for clout. If you're paying millions and millions of dollars for a Picasso to hang in your house and do nothing with, good for you. But you're really not doing anything with that either. So I guess in reality, these things are pretty similar. I don't really understand how a lot of the technical stuff here works, and I'm not going to pretend to, because I did a ton of research both through videos and speaking to some people. I'm not the best person to ask about the technical details and inner workings of that, but I'm going to do my best to put these things into more understandable terms, because I think it's interesting that this is a thing right now. But something that I was learning about is that a person who is selling the NFT, so again, when I say NFT, I'm talking about a digital asset of some sort. So the person who is selling it can set terms. So for example, the original creator can say, if this item is resold in the future, somebody purchases it and decides I'm going to resell it now and sells it to another person. If that kind of transaction happens, the original creator, the original seller of the piece, gets a certain amount of money or a commission of some sort. So that's just an example of something that can be done in this world of NFTs. So there's a lot of opportunity for profit. And I think the problem with this whole thing right now is that a lot of people heard about NFTs, heard about this whole new thing and thought, oh my God, I can sell anything online and people will buy it. And just because it's the original, quote unquote. And there's been a lot of cases of people just getting online and trying to sell, like I said before, random screenshots. Realistically, if you're not a person online or in life that has a following or a popularity of some sort, if you're going online on these websites and you're trying to sell random things, why would people want to buy from you? And I say that in a nice way because that's just how the world works in every other way. So why wouldn't it work for digital things like this? I think that a lot of people thought that they could go online and just anybody could sell any kind of random junk or random stuff and people are just going to buy it for exorbitant amounts of money. And I think in some cases people get lucky, but honestly, I don't think most people are going online to go and buy a random sketch from a 10-year-old or whoever. But there's also other issues. For example, anybody could go online and claim to be anyone. So how do you really know who is selling you, who's trying to sell you something? How do you know they're authentic and they have the original in the first place? It's much harder to prove with digital things and it's much harder to prove with people online because you don't see them in person. And unlike with an original painting or something where you can actually see the brushstrokes or you can date the piece to when it was created, with a digital file, it's much harder to do that. So it also opens up the possibility for scams to happen and things to go wrong in that department. But this is kind of a wild west right now. It's so new that everybody's trying to get in on the game and they're all trying to see what they can sell, how much they can sell it for, and it doesn't matter what it is. And when I say how much they can sell it for, I mean that things are literally selling for millions of dollars. One example that I'll give you is, if you guys remember Nyan Cat, I hope you do because that'll make me feel really old, but like 10 years ago or so, Nyan Cat was huge on the internet. And that original GIF recently sold as an NFT. Somebody purchased that GIF. Even though there's like thousands of copies of it on the internet, somebody can say that they have the original. And they purchased it for about 600,000 US dollars. You might say that's a little crazy, and I would say I agree with you. $600,000 for the rights to a picture is insane. But you know what? I've never really understood the expensive art world in the first place, so maybe I'm not the best person to have an opinion on that, or to ask about that, I should say. Another example of something that I was able to find was the most expensive NFT that was sold. I think it was around March 11th, so about a month ago. An artwork, I don't know what to call it, I guess it's a digital work, called Every Day is the First 5,000 Days by somebody with the Twitter handle Beeple. I'm going to put it up on screen and I'm just going to let you guess how much this digital piece sold for. This digital work sold for $69.3 million. I don't understand. And this isn't me devaluing people's work and time, but $69 million, don't you think that's a little much for a digital file? Oh, I don't understand it at all. But as much as I'm complaining about NFTs and how I just don't get the point of them, I do also understand that this, I think, once the Wild Westness of this kind of calms down, the newness of it calms down, and people are more used to it, and there's more regulations in place, and it's not just anybody going online to, sell random garbage, but, people actually meaningfully try to sell things. At least I hope it gets there. I think that this will become something that is great in the art community, not just for artists, but also musicians or writers. Say they want to do a limited run of a digital book. And I think that that could be a cool thing for digital artists, but I think the way it's being used right now isn't exactly the best, especially because it's kind of a bubble in the making, meaning that so many people are getting in on it and things are kind of getting inflated past what they're worth, and it's a whole thing, and eventually people are going to get bored with it. Prices are going to drop based on how much people are actually able to sell things for, because people are not going to want to buy things for $69 million forever. You know, that eventually goes away. So eventually it will even out. But at the end of the day, I don't really understand NFTs, but I do also see their purpose. And I think that they do have a place, but maybe not right now. I think the system needs to be worked out a little bit more. But hopefully you guys understood this whole thing. Hopefully I made sense. And I hope you found this video interesting. If you'd like to see more videos like this in this kind of series, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinions, because I like to just talk about things sometimes. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, I have all of my links in the description box below, the link to my online store, my Patreon Pin Club, Instagram page, and Discord server. So go check those out. Let me know again what you think of the video. Leave a like if you can, and I will see you guys all next Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time as always. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful weekend. Bye bye.